to the show. Welcome to the show.
Boom. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the 11 Deep Dawgcast. I'm Star Wars Dog. Appreciate y'all coming and watching. This is week 4, and today Georgia played UAB, and we got a victory. 49-21 victory, which extends our win streak to 21. We started off a lot better today. Every red zone trip that we took, all 6, we scored on. So that's definitely something to be happy about. I've decided I want to be a little more positive in the beginnings. Last week was a bit rough, which the game was a bit rough. So you kind of get what you get. I want to stay authentic, but yeah. So today there's a lot to take away from today's game. I think we started off good, like I said, scored on the opening possession. We looked pretty good. Running the ball was a little more difficult, but I think that's all dependent on our offensive line. I think we just don't quite have, with injuries and everything else, we don't have our lineup down pat just yet. I have faith that we can get that cleaned up and get that sorted and have it set up to where we have the best man on the field when we need him. This beginning of the season is just I'm so happy football's back, but I wish these damn games didn't happen. I mean, you had UT Martin, Ball State, and I'm not going to be one of those all respect the team that we played. These games don't need to be fucking played. They are a waste of time. They're annoying. When they're placed in between South Carolina and Auburn, like this one is this week, it could be nice because then you get to clean up things. But okay, let's have one of these games, right? One of these games a year, not fucking 3 and 4 if you include Georgia Tech, which I do, because they're a joke. They're a little better this year. But they're not. They're in that same breath of just a waste of a Saturday. I love college football. I love watching Georgia play, but these games, I mean, we get the fucking F squad for the broadcast team. I don't know if anybody really watched that game because it was UAB, but if you did, the whole broadcast, like the sound quality was absolutely terrible. I had my TV cranked and you couldn't hear the stadium noise, which is an aspect of watching football. Even on TV, yes, we're not there in the stadium, but you still expect a certain production quality. And today, ESPN2 rolled out their weakest squad, and the announcers that they were fucking retarded the whole game. One of them seemed like their default was Dejon Edwards whenever he called a name out, even though Edwards was on the sideline. Either way, these games are pointless. It was a get-right game after the South Carolina first start, which we did start off good, and we were moving the ball. Carson had quite a few throws once again that I'm sure he wish he had back, and I wish he did too. A lot of underthrows, some overthrows. Just, I believe he can get dialed in. I'm not ready to sail him up the creek, but I want him to play better. I want more out of him. We've come to expect better quarterback play, and I don't think we're getting it just yet. But I think he has it in him. He's been patient. He's been committed to Georgia. So yeah, I appreciate that. I'm a fan of Vandegrift. I'd like to see him in more. I liked when he was in the third quarter, which was a bit surprising. Uh, but he did fine. We did what we had to do to win the game, and we won the game, and we won it soundly. We kept them around for a little bit longer than we wanted to, but hey, they showed up to play, and they left it on the field. Uh, so let me throw some stats. Like I said, run game started off slow. We ended up doing okay. We had 188 yards, which was a whole lot better. Of course, Dejon Edwards carried that load with 66 by himself. Um, but man, a lot of times just it doesn't seem like the run is ready yet. Um, I think that boils down to the offensive line, and with the Amaris Mims injury and and running back injuries, it's just it's kind of pitiful. You see some inexperienced guys get in there, and they they run into the backs of our own guys, and you can't really have that. I mean, even if you want to get a hard fought 5 yards, you got to find a crease somewhere, and Dejon seems to be about the only one that can do it right now. Now, Savion Clark, he did pretty decent there in garbage time, um, but their defense was absolutely gassed. Let's be real; it was the end of the game. They were gassed at that point. But he showed some ability and he was finding some creases. So I mean that's good to see from him. Uh, like I said, Carson Beck, he we ended up having almost 400 yards, and the main key to the game, when in doubt, throw it to Bowers. This man is a playmaking machine. And this gives me confidence for the rest of the season. And I was telling my wife this when we were watching the game, that even though our offensive line gives me a bit of the ick, right? It leaves you a little more to be desired. But even with that, if we need to convert, if we need to score, you put the ball in that man's hands and he makes things happen. I mean, he is an absolute difference maker, and he is now one of the top 10 receivers that have one of the 10 receivers that have gone over 2,000 yards. So, congratulations to him. He's done an incredible job. He is the greatest football player in college currently. You heard me correctly. He is the best player in all of college football. So I'm happy for him getting 2,000 yards, and I'm fucking grateful that he's on our team and getting shit done. So with that, I'll give you a little something for Brock Bowers, our hero.
It isn't the love of a hero, and that's why I fear it won't do. And they say that a hero can save us. I'm not gonna stand here and wait. I'll hold on to the wings of the eagles, watch as we all fly away. And they're watching us, they're watching us as we all fly away.
Yeah. So I don't know if Caleb, you're still in the chat or not. There's quite a few South Carolina highlights in there. If you didn't notice, it seems like Brock Bowers has your number. But yeah, I'm happy, man. A good win, another win, extends the streak. Like I said, let me talk defense a little bit. Everett did better. I called him out last week. He did better. It seems like they're getting a little more sound in their footwork, a little more sound in their assignments. I don't think we're doing as much zone as last week with South Carolina. I think we're being way too careful against Spencer Rattler, which is probably the best quarterback that we're going to face this year. And that includes Jackson Dart and maybe even past if we keep going, which I suspect we will. I think Spencer Rattler is going to be the best quarterback that we see all year long, including Hendon Hooker, Matt. But yeah, man, he lit us up, and I felt like our defensive plan was to play zone, and I think that hurt us, and we adjusted in the second half, and that made the difference. But today it seemed like we were a lot more man, and we kept the ball in front of us, and defensive backs made plays. We didn't have so much cushion. Like I said, Everett did better today. He had one blown coverage that I seen clearly, and I was upset about. But hey, one is better than fucking 6 last week. So good on him. He corrected it. Defensive as a whole, like our starters, we looked pretty decent. I'm nothing much to be upset about. Yes, they got 21 points. Boy, they were fighting their ass off. One of them was over a turnover, which we have got to hang on to the ball. Fundamentals, hang on to the damn ball. I believe in the Mighty Mouse. Okay. But he dropped the damn ball, and then Dylan Bell had a drop ball. At least only one of those fumbles resulted in points for them. And then we had a garbage time touchdown by them. So 14 of that, 7 is the turnover. The other 7 is garbage time. So that is what it is. All in all, I feel like defense did a great job. They kept the ball in front of them. They applied pressure. And I think they held their assignments good, and they look good. Game was good. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Like I said, 21 in a row. So here's the new streak video. Enjoy. All right. So at this point, let's get into some other games of the week. I'm gonna bring in Matt, and he's gonna give me the Tennessee report. Matt, how you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Getting pretty sauced up today in this a good late game for me, another night game, thankfully.
Yeah, looks like Georgia took care of business, just like business as usual.
Yeah, hopefully we keep it up and we remain undefeated. So tell me about the Tennessee game. How y'all played? I am so sorry. I really don't know.
We played a UT San Antonio.
That would be why I didn't know.
Who I guess in their own right has had pretty decent teams in the last couple years. They had a lot of their starters out. I don't know if that was intentional or not. They just knew they weren't going to win this game, but it was pretty easy. Tennessee came out the bat. Joe Milton, first play from scrimmage, ran an 81-yard touchdown run. So a lot of people we've been a little critical with our quarterback this year, not being consistent, not running enough. But he showed out pretty good first half today.
Did he hit any deep balls? Because that's one concern that I've heard repeatedly, that his deep ball game has not. It certainly hasn't been Hooker level.
It's not Hooker level accuracy. I know Joe could throw it probably 90 yards in the air, no problem.
He's Uncle Rico all day long. He could throw it over the mountains, but
it's arm strength is not a question. I think it's more accuracy, timing, and touch when he needs it. He did throw deep today. He had a couple successful throws and a couple that were just on the fingertips. I think that could have been on the receiver's part. The couple of them they probably could have caught.
Right.
And then he had a little bit of a knee scare in the third quarter. They were still running him out there up 35-0, I think. He twisted his knee a little bit, but he seems to be fine. But,
do you know who your backup is? Who your second string is?
Yeah, our backup is Nico Liava. I can't really pronounce his name yet, but he was like top, one of the very top quarterback recruits in the country. He's from Hawaii.
Oh, okay. Did he play today?
He got in a little bit today, but it was kind of late in the second half when the game was out of reach, and they were just running the clock out, and he didn't really get to show much. He just kind of handed the ball off, but it got him some snaps.
Good,
but
good.
The fan base, we kind of have a love-hate relationship with Joe Milton, but we're really excited about Nico getting him some more snaps in the future.
Good deal. Any defensive improvement after last week's embarrassment?
Tell you what, not really. They handled them pretty well for the most part. Now our depth is not really there because second half, I think we were, like I said, up 35-0. We pulled out some starters. Our second and third string gave up 14 points and just didn't seem to have the line push, the defensive line like our starters do. So I'm a little worried about injuries. If we get any of our major starters hurt, it's going to be pretty tough on our backups.
Right.
So we don't quite have the depth Georgia. You guys are 2 and 3 deep with 4 stars.
Yeah, that's probably one of the biggest Kirby attributes that we have the luxury of. He's a master recruiter, man. We have talent on talent, and thankfully, and even if they're not high starred, it seems like we're able to pull in overlooked talent and develop them into like McConkey, which we haven't seen because he's dealing with his back, but it just and Cash Jones is a walk on. Like we have people come in that no other program even looked at, and they turn out to be stars.
Mm-hmm. That goes a long way to say with your coaching, your staff, your development, everything.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a Bulldog fan for sure. It was looking like it's going to be good for the Vols, but I mean, y'all are. I'm supposed to hate y'all, and I'm supposed to hate Florida, but I'm humble about my team, but at the same time, I don't hate the other team. I want our competition to be decent as well. I don't want to steamroll teams. That's why games like today, like your game and my game, I really don't care much for. I mean, you think you learned something from it? Like I went through this whole monologue in the beginning of the stream, but it could mean absolutely nothing. What we learned today could have no translation against Auburn next week. It could literally tell me nothing because the guys might have been sleepwalking through it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like they're such a waste of fucking time. And that goes to my point. Like, I want my competition to be good. I want Tennessee to be good. I want Florida to be good. I want Alabama to be good if we were to play them in the SEC championship. I want South Carolina to be good. That would be nice, right, Caleb?
You can screw it right off. We won tonight.
Good job.
Yeah, y'all
Who'd you
squeaked
play,
that one out.
Southwest Texas, Oregon?
Oh boy, I'm gonna beat your ass.
I truly don't know who. Oh no, you played Mississippi State, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I thought. Okay, yeah, we played Mississippi State.
Did you win? I
We
don't.
did.
I really don't know. I honestly do not know.
We did win. Yes, we did.
Nice, good
Yeah,
job.
That was a
Rattler
pretty good
had
game.
him a day.
Did he?
Oh my God, bro! Let me get the actual stats. I vaguely
Yeah,
remember them,
You
but
pull up.
18
Oh,
for
yeah.
20, 288 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Damn, that's not bad. Like I said earlier, and I don't know if you caught it.
I caught
I
most
think
of
Rattler is going to be the best quarterback we face all year.
it. Yeah, so Rattler is playing like he's been listening to what those people said at the beginning of last year since the season ended. Like, I don't know if he's just had that shit
What
on
were they
repeat.
saying?
Do what?
What were they saying about him?
Oh, that he's not. Well, you got think about
What do you think, Antonio?
prior to beating Tennessee and then Clemson. Oh, okay. He had a good game. Okay, yeah.
Right,
he's still not
So
playing like he
overrated.
should. You know, he still had like he had a gross number of interceptions last year. I put that on what's his name? That's at Nebraska now, though.
I can't remember his name. I think I have it, but
Satterfield.
I was thinking coach. All right.
Oh no, Mark Satterfield.
We got you.
Yeah, well, no, he's the coach. He's the OC.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was thinking
But-
head coach.
Marcus was an idiot who didn't know how to use him. Clearly doesn't know how to use anyone because he's screwing it up over at Nebraska.
Mm.
But
I
I think there's 2 things that came out of this game that you're gonna hate one of them. We finally found our running back in Mario Anderson. Dude is a killer, and he reminds me of a previous dog killer in Mike Davis. But we also found who I think is the best quarterback wide receiver combo in the country right now, and it's Spencer Rattler and Xavier Leggett. 5 receptions,
Did he?
189 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Oh, he stepped up in Juice's absence, huh?
Yeah, so I still don't know what is up with Juice. Last week, as we
I
were
think he had a broken bone in his foot, didn't he?
Yeah, so last week as we were ending, I got a tweet about, or I texted my friend about what what's his name? Beamer said. And he says, it's not season ending. It doesn't look like it's, it looks like it's just going to be like a week or 2 thing.
Right.
So that's good to know. Leggett has stepped up. We've still got Nick Harbor, who I think the reason Nick Harbor hasn't been playing is I don't think he's ready. I think that I keep wanting to say Spurrier. I think Beamer knows what he needs in his guys, and I don't think he sees it from Nick Harbor yet. But when Nick Harbor's ready, it's going to be scary because I always say this about tight ends. Because tight ends are supposed to be some of the taller guys on the field. Why don't you just send your tight end out 8 yards and tell him to jump? All we're gonna do.
I mean, it's an automatic mismatch against a linebacker for sure.
All we're gonna do is send Nick Harbor out, and he's gonna have to be dual covered. He's gonna have to because he's like 6'8".
Yeah. Yeah.
So literally all he's going to have to do is jump.
Yeah. That makes a difference, man. Having that big tight end, which
Yep.
we have the luxury of having the best one in the country.
So remind me his name.
Brock Bowers.
Okay. Is he not the one that y'all got over us like 2 years ago?
I don't think so.
Matt, do you remember who I'm talking about?
Or is that Oscar Delp?
We
It
want.
doesn't ring a bell. I don't keep up with the
Yeah,
battles.
I don't follow
of the
recruiting
teams.
that close, but
Um,
I don't
He's
think
a beast,
he was
though. Bauer. I remember seeing Bowers last year. He was a beast.
Also, in that video that I showed earlier, the one where he's shirtless catching that ball, that was in high school. That he
so
looked like
you
that.
have a picture of a minor with his shirt off on your video. Let's
It's a man. It doesn't
think
matter.
about the things we do before we do them, dog.
Listen. You don't even have a face right now, so don't. But
Yeah, because I'm shirtless.
oh shit.
Yeah, so of course I don't have a face.
Well, let's take this and let's talk about some other games that happened. And I want to start a new segment here that it's kind of like upsets or like surprise kind of games or wins or anything like that. And let's go ahead and let's start with, and I wish Wade was here because we could just rub it in his fucking face.
Oh,
But let's start with Oregon and Colorado. But first, here we go.
Nope, there wasn't
let's look at
anyone on
this.
the other side. Oregon showed up and no one was there to play.
There might as well have just been 12th graders out there.
The Oregon
Yeah,
Institute for the Deaf and Blind.
Colorado finally met a good team this week, and
Yeah.
they got treated
and
Colorado
better.
got their ass stumped.
Everybody was confused because they beat last year's runner-up, which was amazing that they made it to the national championship to get their ass whipped by us last year. But any talent they had was lost at the end of last year, and they probably shouldn't even have been ranked 17th. Man, they came up against some real competition today, and I have mad respect for their head coach being former defensive coordinator. And God damn, did they just boat race them, huh? Yeah,
Oregon's head coach. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Is it who is Oregon's offensive coordinator?
I'm not sure.
Oregon.
I really don't know. I really don't know.
It's not Brandon McElwain, is it?
That doesn't ring a bell, but it could be. But yeah, man, they got that ass whipped today. It was almost a shutout, but they got a touchdown right there in the fourth quarter.
I really wanted it to be a shutout.
Me too. And
Yeah.
I will say I'm not just rooting against them because I'm a hater or fucking hipster or anything like that. It's just
I'm a hater.
I don't appreciate the way they play. Their mentality from what I've been shown, and their hype around it. So we have this conversation with Star Wars, with normies and the hardcores. So the numbers. So I don't know if y'all seen this or not, but the Colorado game on week 2 got almost double the viewership of the Alabama-Texas game, which was the marquee game of the week, right?
Wow.
But they got almost double the views at Colorado. And I was watching a podcast, Late Kick, and he brought up the point that Dion's going to bring in the normies. They're going to bring in the people that we normally don't hear from until the playoffs, until the last couple of weeks, where you have people that haven't watched a fucking game all year long, and now they have an opinion. But now we're getting them early. Now we're getting them with Dion because that's where the hype is. That's where the
and we're getting, not only are we getting these normies, but we're getting these. I'm not going to call them activists because I don't think they reach that level. But we're getting these people who are only watching because Dion is who Dion is, and there have been conversations in like the last couple months about whether or not Dion is facing scrutiny because of who he is. And I think that's driving a lot of people to come in and watch. And I honestly, I kind of think it's disgusting.
Colorado had 9 million viewers last week when they played Colorado State. You know, after the hype just continues to grow. And that 9 million people, that think about that as a TV show. A lot of TV shows would love to have that much viewership.
That is
including Star Wars shows.
That would make it, if a TV show, not like a HBO show, but if TV show had that viewership, it would be the number one TV show in the world.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure. It's just I don't disagree with what and how he's doing it necessarily. I don't like it per se, but I see that it works. There is efficiency in it. He is drawing attention. He is bringing eyes, and not only viewership.
He's doing what Dabo Sweeney did.
Maybe, but not just viewership. He's also getting recruits' attention.
He's doing what
players.
Dabo did. Dabo made it us versus them.
Speaking of, that'll be our second game, and we'll go ahead and pivot to that right now.
Yeah, when you make it us versus them, you give people something to fight for. And you give them something more than a trophy. It's easy to give up on a trophy.
Yeah.
It is hard to give up on yourself and your team. And that, and to respect, I don't like the guy. I think he does it wrong. But he did a hell of a job of doing it. And I think Beamer is doing a really good job of doing the same thing. But I think he's doing it in today's football, where you can kind of be a little more of a play around and still kind of, go buy the players and stuff like that. But Dabo is not that guy anymore.
Right.
I think now that you got players that have money in their pocket, they're seeing Dabo as a him guy. Dabo's doing this for himself.
Well, he's costing them. I mean, like I said, we'll pivot to that game today. I don't know if you caught it.
I caught it.
They had every opportunity to win that game. And they couldn't do it. They literally had to, and the broadcast made such a big deal out of having to call a kicker that was no longer on the roster, that sat on the bench the rest of the time he was there. They made a big deal that Dabo called him back in and had to say, hey, we need you to come down and kick for us.
Yeah, he had to drive from
Charleston, misses the damn kick, which I don't like. That sucks. But I mean, that's something about your program when you don't have a better kicker in the lineup because you've fallen off recruiting. You don't fuck with the transfer portal, and you've turned a blind eye. You've failed to adapt to modern college football, and you are now going to be left in the dust.
This is a problem that Clemson has had for years with their kickers. Kickers do not want to play for Dabo Sweeney. because Dabo has made a point of treating kickers like Urban Meyer treated the Jacksonville kicker. He disparages them. He yells at them. He doesn't treat. Dabo has never, to my recollection, has never treated a position player or a skills player. I don't know if punting and kicking count on the skills positions. I think they should, but I don't know if they do.
Right.
He has never treated a skills player the way he treats his kickers.
Yeah.
If they mess up, he does it on national television, and people don't want to deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. I don't know. So of course, Clemson lost that one. And
Good day to be
what are
alive.
your thoughts? What are your thoughts on FSU? Are they number 4 to you, or are they overhyped? Matt, what do you think?
They might be a little overhyped. You know, Boston College gave them all they wanted last weekend, and then Clemson in the down year. Of course, they're playing at home. They're a little tougher and motivated, of course, you know, with that rivalry. Took them to overtime. So,
Yeah.
But it's weird. You see how they handled LSU the first game of the year. LSU is still kind of, you know, still one of the upper echelon teams talent-wise. So I think they're a little overrated. I would say they're maybe top 10 still, but not 4th.
Damn it. I was really rooting on my Hogs.
So this is yeah. I actually think they lost because they missed a field goal.
Yeah, they won 3. Fuck.
Yeah, another tight game.
I gotta say I disagree, Matt, and only because is Georgia overhyped.
No.
We gave y'all all y'all could handle last week, and
for a half,
even
the game
still,
is 2 halves.
We were never out of that game until that last pick. So,
dude, we shut you out 21-0 in the second half. What do you mean you were never in that?
That's fine. What? We down 10 points with that's easy. Dude, we've seen people score 10 points in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, but you never had momentum again. You never had the game
disagree.
in
I
hand.
think we had momentum several times. We just didn't capitalize on it. But what I'm saying is I don't think you can say that FSU struggling against Boston College, who I don't know what it is. I don't know if there's something in the water up there.
They're like that team you don't want to see.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a lot like Syracuse and Clemson. Syracuse always seems to play Clemson really well.
I was going to say like Auburn. That's the team that you don't want to see. It's like who are you? Go away.
Yeah, so I don't think it's fair to say they're overhyped. I think they might not be number 4, but they're not far off.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're number 4. I think they're a very good team, and I think as long as they keep winning, they'll be in the conversation. But I think they're that team that could get in with a loss.
Well, I'll give them points. They're battle tested now. They've had to battle between LSU and Boston College and Clemson now. They have the ability to persevere, and that's worth something in its own. But you also I question the LSU win too, as they struggled against the Razorbacks, and I mean, I would love to see the Razorbacks do good because I love the old pit boss, old Sam Pittman, and if he gets let go because Arkansas's fan base is ruthless, come on back to Georgia, please. Come on back. We'd love to have you back.
So, because you said that, I do have a question for everyone. So we all remember, I think it was 2017, when there were 983 coaching jobs open. Do you think this could be a similar year? I feel like there's a lot of teams that are sick of it.
Well, I think A&M is a little further away. They got that win against Auburn, but they have other games this year that might accentuate that more. Of course, losing to Miami didn't help, Jimbo, but that might be one that's going to go. I think Arkansas is going to be really looking at getting rid of Pittman, which I think is just stupid. I think Mississippi State doesn't have the right head coach, even though it's his first year and last year was sad. Boy, that was rough losing him.
Oh, terrible.
That was rough. But I don't think Zach Garnett is going to be it. Napier saved his job against Tennessee, but if he loses to Vandy or something, he could be right back on the chopping block again, which I think is possible. I predicted that Florida's going to lose to Vandy anyway.
Napier needs to win his bowl game, even if it's a
Napier needs to beat Kentucky.
Yeah, Napier needs to go to a bowl game, not win a bowl game. He needs to go to a bowl game.
I think if he goes to a bowl game and loses, I think there's going to be serious conversations. But I think if he goes to a bowl game and wins,
how about Kentucky? How has that coach been there this long, just riding mediocrity?
In a state where basketball is king, if you're winning 8 or more games in football, you can write your check to retire.
Yeah, because
until they lost to Vandy last year.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So he knows how to talk up there, and
I guess they just don't care. That's what it looks like to me.
It's a combination of that. It's also a combination of the fact that basketball starts before football ends.
Right.
So Kentucky fans are able to take their mind off of football.
Yeah.
So, they could be top 10, and then by the mid-November when they start to fall apart, basketball season's here, and let's, the fans are like, okay, we had our fun with basketball or football.
Right. Yeah. It's what Kentucky does. And honestly,
and they're still in the golden years.
Yeah, I love it because you never know what you're going to get out of Kentucky. I love playing a team that
they're
like
physical though. They are physical. I said they're physical.
They got strong top front seven.
Like their lineman play is pretty significant.
Did you watch that? I think it was a touchdown. Did you watch that touchdown from their game today? Where
I didn't sketch it.
Their O-line was basically they basically just stood up and pushed the D-line forward to let I think the running back just run it in. Like he did. I don't think he barely broke through. He literally just walked behind the D-line, O-line.
Yeah, they played Vandy today, right? Yeah.
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 Which, there's another. I think that'll be another win for us. I do have a question for everyone. A couple questions. One, after this week, we're 2-2, 4-0, and 2-2. Metrin?
Tennessee is 3-1.
Okay, 3-1. What do y'all think? Obviously, Dawg thinks they're going to end undefeated. They probably will. Matt, what do you think Tennessee ends?
We're going to be 6-6 to 8-4, I believe.
Okay.
I'm serious with our inconsistency and quarterback as far as just. I mean, if you scheme us right, we're going to get behind and we're going to crumble. And our depth at offensive line is terrible.
I still got y'all beating Alabama this year. By the way, also let me take a piss while y'all continue. I'll be right back.
You never know. I'll tell you just don't know what we're going to get week to week. And usually, most of the time with quarterbacks, you know what to expect. Either they're going to be consistently consistent, if I can put it that way. They're going to come out there and they're going to play the same every week. They're going to make those kind of throws every week, and then Joe Milton shows up and surprises you one week, and then the next week the whole team's just not not on the same page. Whatever reason, we just don't gel. We don't seem to have it in us. And I can tell you now, Caleb, next week, Leggett, Rattler, and your running back. Well, I watched that game tonight, most of it. You guys are going to dismantle us if we don't have our defense in order.
Oh, dude! I tell you, I love to hear that for a couple reasons. One, I love beating Tennessee. I just do. I think one of the first games I can remember was remember how we used to play on Halloween?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And so it was a night game in Tennessee. And I'm relatively sure we lost because it was probably like 2006. But it was one of those games that both teams were sitting there trying to let the other team win. And we just couldn't string it together. And I remember Spurrier walks out and basically does his interview and goes, "Man, if I had to sit through many more games like that, I might quit early." And of course, fast forward a decade, we see what happened.
Right.
But I love playing Tennessee, and Dog and I were talking about this a while back, asking what teams I thought should be on our permanent slate for when realignment happens.
Yeah.
And I believe I said Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and Florida. No, I didn't. I said.
You also said Missouri.
Yeah, what? How many options did I have? 4.
It was either 3 or 4. I think I said 3. Like, must play every year.
Okay, so the 3 every year were, I think, Missouri, Tennessee, and Georgia. And
this is just to preface this. This was a conversation that me and him had when there was conference expansion talk with doing away with divisions and everything getting jumbled up. Like, what are the 3 games that you want your team to have every year? So, like for Georgia, it'd be Florida. For me, it's Florida, Auburn, and I would say Tennessee. I think those 3 games have to happen every year.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be playing each other again after this year for a while. Same with Florida. I don't even think. Can't remember exactly how they're breaking us up, but
yeah,
I hate it. I really hate these teams coming in and ruining all the history we all have.
Yeah. I think it might level back out
sit there
eventually, but
you can sit there and talk about how Georgia has won the last 3 games and all that, and I can sit there and talk about 2019, 2015, but with the exception of 2 or 3 games in the since the turn of the century, that's been one of the most consistently close series, I think, in college football.
Right.
Between
Georgia and South Carolina?
Yeah. Prior to these numbers are a little old, so it could be out of date. But prior to about 2011, the last 13 games had been decided by, I think, 9 points or less. And that, again, like I was saying, if you can huddle up and get everyone on the same page in a 9-point game, you can win that shit.
Right. So who is your 3, Caleb? If you had to have 3, like I just gave Florida, Auburn, and Tennessee were mine, who is your 3?
So Missouri's got to go in there because I hate them. I hate Missouri. I love beating Missouri. Tennessee's got to go in there because for the same reason. I love beating Tennessee. I love playing Tennessee because it's usually a good game. Both teams are usually in it for most of the time. And it's just fun because it's a great atmosphere at both places.
Right.
And then, dude, Georgia. Georgia and South Carolina, I think, is a great rivalry in the SEC. And I get that you might not see it as a rivalry, but
yeah, it just
I
hasn't
think it
had the
is.
importance lately like it used to. But yes, it is still a tried and true. Like it doesn't make my top, but it doesn't mean that it's not a valued game. You know?
Yeah.
It's just not one of my must play every year. But what about you, Matt? What do you think for Tennessee? The three main, like, if you didn't have to sacrifice your 3-game every single year, you were going to play them.
Alabama number one. That's just the biggest rivalry.
Yeah,
that should be a given. Other than that, I guess I would say probably Kentucky. I really don't care for Vanderbilt, even though that's a long time rivalry. It's an in-state thing, but I would probably take Auburn. We used to have a really good rivalry with Auburn.
really. Do
And
y'all
third
play
one
them
would be a
every year
toss-up
right
between
now?
South Carolina, Georgia. What's that?
Y'all don't play them every year right now, though, do you?
Auburn? No, it's probably on average about once every 6 or 7 years we play Auburn.
Really? But you
I
want
would
it to
say
be every
Georgia.
year.
Yeah, I mean, I've always respected Auburn.
Yeah.
And in many ways, they're kind of like Tennessee. They kind of have they have an identity crisis. They can't make up their mind whether they're a Tiger, an Eagle, or a Plainsman.
Oh, I hate that.
Or a head coach.
Or a head coach, that too. They may stick with this one. We'll see.
They better.
I guess you throw Georgia in there. Georgia's always been a good rivalry too.
I'm surprised you didn't say Florida, honestly. But I guess
stand
y'all
Florida.
have too much luck down there.
I can't tell you how many times Tennessee has only won 10 or more games, like 15, 16 times in their history. And I would say probably another 12 times Florida's been the one team that kept them from winning 10 or more.
Yeah, it's been your thorn in your side. Like,
yeah,
I don't know
history,
if,
the last
if
40
everybody
years.
else knows, but when Tennessee goes to Florida,
What do you think, Antonio?
Oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. It's terrible. I mean, there's something about that swamp voodoo down there.
Swamp voodoo, that's it.
Swamp
I love
voodoo,
that
buddy.
SEC shorts last week. Stop saying
That was pretty. I
swamp
can't wait to see what they're going to do this week.
Oh, me too.
Hey, did they
All
win?
right.
Hey, did you guys see the catch? Speaking of Florida, the catch that their true
Oh
freshman
my God!
caught one-handed
Are you
today.
fucking kidding me? Yes. I'm actually gonna.
Absolute best catch I've seen in a long time.
The dude never
the one
brought
where he
it
got
to two hands.
the one where
One
he got
hand, double coverage, almost got
Fucking
sandwiched.
real. Hang on.
the one where he got like skull fucked.
Yeah, Ricky Pearsall, who runs around in his booty shorts out there.
Dude, that was
He's going to go pro early.
insane. Are you driving right now, Caleb?
No, I started reorganizing my office like around 3:00, and then I started playing Battlefront 2 with X-Wing. So I didn't get this done at time, and now it's hot in my office, so I have a fan on me.
Gotcha. It sounded like you had the window down, your phone out the window.
Yeah, no. Now that I quit my job, I have to live in my car.
Not yet. You ain't on the money
Not yet. I'll come stay in your garage before that happens.
Hey, my garage is a good setup now.
Oh no, that's why I come.
We'd have to get you a window unit though.
Do what?
I said we'd have to get you a window unit though. All right, here we go.
Why does it get hot?
Oh, hell yeah. There ain't no insulation. All right.
Yeah, well, it's starting to get cold again.
Look at this. Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, is ESPN not going to let you play it?
Yeah, they're going to block me. Sons of
Oh.
bitches.
Are you on ESPN or are you on YouTube?
I'm on ESPN.
Go to YouTube. And mute
Surely
it.
somebody's
Mute
put
the
it
video.
up by now.
Yeah, but make sure you mute it because you don't. Because that's one of the things that'll get you the sound. But so after you play that, play South Carolina's opening drive of the second quarter.
Ooh,
Well,
that
actually,
has glitched out my other screen. We'll come back to that.
The opening drive of the first quarter and the opening drive of the third quarter because they are pretty cool.
Hell yeah. Okay. Let me see here.
I need to get me a vacuum.
You don't have a vacuum?
I have one for like hardwood floors, but not one for carpet. And in my last place, it worked for the carpet I had, but this is like high fiber. Not high fiber. What's it called?
Here you go. All right, here we go. Florida catch. This is the one I'm talking about. It is absolutely unfucking real. Like, are you kidding me? You caught it like that?
That was incredible.
That made Odell Beckham Jr. happy right there.
Like, what the heck was that? And if you please tell me this gives me slow-mo.
Pause it.
Okay, here goes slow-mo.
Okay.
Look at that. He never put
the
two
refs
hands
in
on
the
the
way
ball.
too, so you don't get to see. Oh, this might be better.
Triple
I can't
cover.
Oh
believe he held up
my
the ball.
God.
T-bone from two sides. One hand.
I think I'd have lost the ball on that.
Whew, I would have lost my
I would have
shit.
lost my bowels.
Yeah.
God damn, dude. That was incredible.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's a pro level catch right there. He's a true freshman.
Yeah.
That kid's going
He just made
to tear
him
some people up.
multi-million dollars on that one catch.
Oh yeah. I mean, people are already calling.
Yeah.
Damn, that's incredible. Whew.
The thing is, he didn't do much of anything against us when we played him.
No, he was quiet. I didn't recognize his name when I seen they kept throwing that up on like the halftime reports.
Yeah.
And shit like that. I didn't recognize the name at all. Again, it's another bullshit fucking game. God, I cannot stand these games against Charlotte. Hell, what a waste of time! It's a waste of football. Like we only get a certain amount of games every year, and some of us get more games than others. But we only get a certain amount of games. Like, that's just crazy.
So let me ask you, where's your line? So let's say Georgia is level 1,000, is level 100. How far down can you go before it's a waste of a game?
Really? I don't think Group of 5 have any business playing Power 5 teams.
So should Cincinnati not have played y'all a couple years ago?
No. Well, it was a bowl game. Bowl game's a little bit different.
I'm not talking about bowl game. Let's put
Well,
the
that's
game.
what that was.
But let's put the game in the middle of the season.
Then no.
Okay. Even with all the conversation going on about Cincinnati.
Nope.
All right.
Unless, well, I was going to say unless we scheduled a home and home, but why? Why schedule a home and home with a group of 5 team? We have no business doing that shit.
I don't know. I like them. I think they have a purpose.
Really? See,
I do.
What do you think, Matt? 'Cause I hate them.
I wouldn't mind one a year.
Okay, one is okay, sure.
Yeah,
As long as
you got to have a homecoming
if it's
game.
an
You got to have a
FBS team, I'm
Yeah.
done. I just don't care.
Now,
Yeah,
I will
it-
say,
I mean, it-
I don't think it should be your homecoming game. I think if you schedule that for your homecoming game, you're
Well, we could schedule Vandy for a homecoming game. We have
Yeah,
that
sometimes-
luxury in the SEC. We at least have Vandy,
yeah.
unless
So-
you're Kentucky or Florida. Then you might have to sweat. But
I think they have a purpose for a couple reasons. One, and Dog, you won't care about this, and I forget if Matt does, but they help identify good players for the NFL. You know, those are games where you get to see some of these players ball out. A good example would have been Central Michigan is not a Power 5. I don't believe they're a Power 5 team. You know who played in Central Michigan? One of the best wide receivers ever, Antonio Brown. He's
You know who
fucking
coached
crazy
him?
now.
You know who coached him
But-
at Central Michigan? Butch Jones.
Really?
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Butch
Did
Jones.
not
Hey,
know that.
Butch Jones coached on Antonio Brown and Travis Kelce. Wrap their mind around that.
Yeah, but he kicked
And Alvin
he
Kamara.
kicked Travis Kelce out of the program, didn't he?
Oh, he may have. I don't know.
Yeah, I think because that's how Kelce ended up at Minnesota.
Oh, I wasn't aware. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so he ended up going to school with his brother. He and Travis. I think Travis was like a senior, and Kelce ended up being there, like halfway through the season or something, because he got kicked out of, I guess, Central Michigan, and he went to interview with the coach, and the coach was basically like, why the fuck do I want you? You can't block like I need you to block. You've already got problems at your old school, and Jason's the one that like went to bat for him.
I don't know. I'm seeing Kelce went to Cincinnati for like 4 years.
That's what Cincinnati. That's what it was.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they both went.
Yeah,
to
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Butch Jones coached at Cincinnati and coached Kelce there.
Oh, I was talking about
Yeah.
Central Michigan.
Well, Central Michigan was Antonio Brown, and Butch Jones was on the staff there.
Okay, he was at both places. Okay.
Yeah. Which is
Okay.
just crazy that crappy coach coached to
Yeah.
NFL.
Well, it's
Hall of
a
Fame.
great example of a coach doing well and getting promoted beyond what he should do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That happens all the time.
Yep.
All right. So let's go to another, I would say surprising game.
I'm
Well,
so
let's,
happy to be here.
Let's chat a little bit about the Alabama.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Can we run back what you said about that last week?
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and say that I predicted before the season started that Alabama was going to lose 4 games, which still might happen in the regular season as well. But one of them was Ole Miss. And, yeah, I was dead fucking wrong on that. And that's on me. And I promise you that won't happen again. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Lane Kiffin is a fucking clown. And he runs a goddamn clown show. And his hair all fuckered up in his goddamn visor. He's He's a mess of a head coach. He has no business coaching a team. They could have won that game if they didn't get out of their own goddamn way. But in the fourth quarter, they had 6 minutes on the clock, and longer than that. They wasted 5 minutes on that drive, and they didn't even get any points. They wasted 5 fucking minutes. And they were down 2 touchdowns. They had to score and then score again, and yet they wasted 5 fucking minutes. Just an absolute joke of a fucking coach. He's chalked up to be some offensive wizard, and he's an absolute clown.
So here's my question, because I did not watch this game or any of it. Like I had completely forgotten it was happening. Do you think there's any chance it's because of the new time rules? Like, do you think he's just someone that's just not figured it out?
He had a whole fucking stock. Dude, they ran the ball. They didn't get out of bounds. They straight up pissed away, and they didn't do hurry up either. They just pissed away 5 fucking minutes. It was embarrassing. I was sitting there watching. I was like, the game is in hand. You have 7 minutes on the fucking clock.
But you're down by 14 and
yeah.
Huh.
And you just waste away 5 fucking minutes, and then Alabama gets the ball and they run the clock out. 2 minutes left.
So what you're saying is you could be down by 2 possessions and still have a shot.
If you I mean you can, but you didn't.
I'm just messing with you.
But you didn't.
No, again, I just disagree. I think we had a shot.
You could have. You didn't. Y'all were gassed in the second half. But yeah. So we got Jeremy
Honestly,
up in
here. I think everyone in that game was gassed. I mean,
Jeremy, do you want to come in here? Like, type yes, and I'll send you a link, man. We'll bring you in here and do a little chit chat if you watch some of the games. You were supposed to come over today, but that's all right. You had to take her to the girl.
All right, I got 20 minutes left. Then I gotta hop over and watch the F1 race.
Oh yeah. Are you gonna do a stream with John or no?
Yeah, I think we're going to. You know, I'm trying to keep him happy with YouTube, so I really want to do that and put some positive memories in there.
Right. Yeah, I don't want him to leave.
No, we're not gonna let him leave.
No, he ain't going nowhere.
If he thinks he's got it, he doesn't have an option anymore. He's curated a space.
Right.
He does not have an option.
So let's pivot back in. We'll do yet another.
Oh, look at that.
Let's talk Ohio State Notre Dame. Did y'all see the game?
I did not.
I watched the last. I kind of tuned in and out, but once the last 10 minutes or so, I locked in on it. It's pretty good. Pretty crazy.
I gathered from Twitter it was a bad game. Like it was just like, well, okay.
Well, it was a defensive battle from what I've seen.
Okay.
And,
definitely a defensive game.
Yeah,
I like
very heavily. It's kind of like the opener 2 years ago with Georgia and Clemson. Like it was just a battle of defense. And God, the way it ended. That's not the way that game should end.
You just knew it was going to happen, though.
Yeah, the very last, we're talking seconds on the clock, and Ohio State gets the fucking touchdown, and then it has to come down to the backyard, longest yard bullshit. Whoop whoop,
Mm-hmm.
and it that was piss poor too. But yeah, all right. Here's Jeremy. There he is. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Well, just having fun on the YouTubes.
I know. I've been watching the entire time.
Hell yeah. Well, we're talking the Notre Dame Ohio State. Did you watch the end of that one?
I did not get a chance to. I most of my
No?
games was able to watch. I watched most of the Alabama and Ole Miss, but
Oh,
any of the games I could watch were actually on Paramount Plus.
What?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's where I watched some of the games at.
What?
Yeah, you can
What
watch
games?
CBS games over there.
Okay.
They showed like 4 games, I think. I don't remember all of
Yeah.
them, but my main focus was on the Alabama and Ole Miss.
yeah.
You an
What
Alabama
what
fan?
was your takeaway on that one?
I'm actually with Georgia, but Alabama's the
Oh, okay.
second.
That's
Mhm.
weird.
What was your takeaway on the Ole Miss game?
Definitely felt like the refs didn't give a shit today.
Really? Calling
Well,
out the refs, are we?
Yes, because look at Darts. He had a face mask. His helmet came off. He had to go out for a play, and there was as you saw with the replay, he had a full-on face mask.
Yeah.
But
I will say the referee judgment this year and even the last couple of years is
It's been
terrible.
abysmal.
It's
It's
terrible.
been getting really bad. I don't know if a bunch of people are
Our
tired.
backup quarterback got ear hold today in the second half, right in front of an umpire, and total miss call.
Did y'all see the pass interference on
Yeah.
on our guy?
Yeah,
No.
saw that right in front of the ref in the end zone.
Yeah,
Tugged
yeah.
his jersey and everything.
Really?
I don't know what
And
he
the
was
ref
looking
is-
at, but
He was watching another
Georgia-
game apparently.
Georgia got called today for defensive delay of game.
What do you
Yeah.
do? Kick the ball?
well,
No,
so
no. So defensive delay of game. So you know how Georgia is famous for their shift right before
Yeah.
the play?
mhm.
Mhm.
So when they do that, they do an audible too. And admittedly, they do an audible that mocks the offense that we're facing because we
Yeah.
still film it, right? So when they do their audible, they do like a hard count that the offense is used to just to fuck with them. We got called for it though.
now
So is
I
that
was
similar
under-
to saying
I was
hut? Defensive player
It's
can't say
kind of
hut,
like
hut?
it's kind of like the linebackers clapping.
Yeah.
That's something that's defensive delay of game as well. So,
Yeah,
so
so-
that's what they're basing that on. But it's part of our game plan, right? But it's interesting.
I have only ever seen defensive delay game called on leaving the field when the offense hasn't subbed a player. So
Yeah,
if
yeah,
offense
yeah,
subs,
yeah.
the defense has the right to sub.
Right.
And
Caleb,
I've
did you
only
notice your
ever
name, by the way?
Do what?
Did you notice your name, by the way?
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just haven't changed it yet. But my photo is not there, so I'm okay with it.
Oh, all right.
Because Ronnie can't take it because it could be anybody.
Right.
But yeah, so that's one of those things that started a while back, and it got a big deal when Peyton Manning was in the NFL because he'd do his Omaha thing, and I think in like his first season doing that, the defense would try to get him or get his offense by doing it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so the NFL started. I think they instituted the rule. I don't know if it had been a thing prior to that or they started making it a big deal. But yeah, I can't tell you the last time I've seen defensive delay of game.
I can't tell you either, honestly.
Yeah, it's a interesting call for sure.
Maybe they lay on top of a guy for tackling him and obviously
Oh,
holding down.
you know what? That I have. Okay, yeah,
that will do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see that. Yeah.
they that happens. I've seen that a lot in NFL games where they just
Mhm.
stay on top of players a little bit longer than they should.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to jump back real quick because you mentioned the Georgia Clemson game. Do you remember the 2011 Georgia Clemson game?
No, I was in boot camp for that one.
So in 2011, Georgia played Clemson. It was a big game because it was really like the first time Clemson had decided to actually play a real team.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure Georgia won. But halfway through like the third quarter, Clemson's like gassed or something, or they're tired. They need a little bit of a break. And this Clemson linebacker's just, or this Georgia linebacker's walking back to the line. And you see this Clemson player just fall over, just straight over. Like he's trying to pretend that he got pushed by the Georgia player. He gets up, he's like, come on, what's going on?
Yeah.
And what's funny is there was a ref actually watching. And so the ref like looks at him and he goes, he's like 30 feet from you. What are you doing?
Right.
I love it. It's one of my favorite little bloopers from football.
You know, I faintly remember that. I know that was like freshman year in high school.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a Kentucky player last year that did that, and it was like a late hit after the play was blown dead, and the guy just like flopped and like dead fished on the ground. Honestly, that shit's so fucking like that's some shit that I would do, right? Like the play is dead and somebody hits me and I'm just Well,
that's like, did you might not have, but the other guys might have. Did you see what Travis Kelce did the second week of last week? You know, he missed the first week because he had like a hamstring thing. Mm-hmm. And so during the first open practice of week 2, he's limping onto the field. And so you've got all these people taking photos. And then he just kind of looks at them and starts twerking and then runs onto the field. Dude, I would do that all the time. I would be no one would draft me in fantasy because I would troll the shit out of everybody.
Right.
I told a friend of mine that. He said, you'd be the first person kicked out of the NFL for trolling.
Dude, I'm going to tell you right now, do not sleep on Washington this year.
Washington is top 4 playoff team right now.
I'm going to tell you right now, I think they're better than FSU. And they're
Pac-12 doing
out ass 52-12 right now, and they got the ball.
Who?
Washington.
Is beating who?
Cal.
Okay. You said 52-12?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it's as of right now, 9 minutes 45 left in the third. They just got back from halftime.
Holy shit.
Damn.
Yes. They are no
quarterback's really good too.
I can't wait to watch them against Oregon because I think Oregon is a top team. USC right now.
I think we're pretty good.
As of right now, no. The actual USC.
21-13
against the Sun Devils, which is the worst team that the Pac-12 has to offer, which there's an argument to be made with Colorado at this point. Wade, if you're there, come back in. We'll chat Colorado with you.
We will.
Oregon versus Washington will be a game to watch this year,
dude. That'll be a game day.
Game day.
Which let's do this segment right now.
Yeah.
Did game day get it right?
So where was it today?
I don't know. Where was it? We might have to look at it. I truly don't know. Where were they?
They clearly didn't get it right.
They were.
Let me see.
Where were they today? They were Notre Dame and Ohio State where they were today.
Oh.
Yeah.
They didn't get it wrong.
Yeah, they didn't get it wrong.
Yeah.
Better than. So I think they're probably 2-0
might have been better.
Now. They're 2-2 right now. Sorry, what'd you say?
I said, what game might have been better than Ohio State and Notre Dame? Because I think that was a good call.
Yeah, it's top profile teams there.
Well, that was number 6 and number 9. So
yeah, I honestly would have picked this Colorado game to go to instead of last week. I know why they picked it because it was an in-state thing. But I think now obviously we have the benefit of hindsight and we know what the scores were. But I think this would have been a bigger game and it means more than beating Colorado State.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I think if that game was scheduled for the evening or late afternoon, they might have done that. West Coast games for game day are hard to do in that time slot.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say they had it right. It was a top 10 matchup.
Actually, the only other one I would have gone with is FSU Clemson. I think I would have picked that.
I would have said.
I don't know who else is playing the weekend of October 14th, but that's when Oregon is at Washington. You can book it right now. That'll be a night game, and that'll be game day.
October 14th.
I know.
Yep.
I know. SEC Nation got it wrong.
Where'd they go?
They went to College Station.
Yeah, they got it wrong.
That game, Auburn, which we get to play them next week. Auburn didn't have a pulse in that game, from what I seen. I didn't see
Alabama.
that much, to be honest. I didn't see a whole lot, so somebody might be able to call me on that. But Texas A&M got them pretty good.
The only thing that might get it over that game, Southern Cal, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Yeah, I'm seeing that. That's the only other big-time matchup of the weekend.
But, dude, that's going to be a tough decision for them. Because we're talking about teams that could be, stacked in the top 7 back to back to back to back to back.
Yeah. Well, you get the narrative of Sam, what's his name? Sam, whatever his name is, quarterback at Notre Dame, and then Caleb Williams at USC.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Sam Howell, but it's not him.
Sam Hartman, I think.
Yeah.
Who looks like a 35-year-old man with a beard.
Well, it's better than a 35-year-old woman with a beard. And on that note, we have a kicker.
Yeah.
The first female non-kicker football player ever.
Have you seen that chick? She's cut.
It was a good hit.
She's looks like a female bodybuilder.
Dog, do you hear about this?
Yes, I seen this.
Yeah, pull this.
And I looked at my wife and I said, "This is fucking stupid."
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. It was a good hit, dude. Do you disagree?
Yeah, but thank God it was a team that was being filmed by a parent with a camcorder. That wasn't worth a shit, because if it was in any remotely good school, that woman would be folded like a fucking lawn chair. Okay?
Yeah, no, so I agree. Who'd y'all play today?
UAB.
Okay. If UAB had decided to start a female running back, that'd be fucking stupid, because Georgia would have killed her.
She would have been dead. Deceased.
Yeah. But if you're and I'm not gonna say it was a publicity stunt in the same way that Vanderbilt's thing was.
It is.
Because
it is.
So the reason I say it isn't is I don't think any one of us knew about it prior to the hit.
We know about it now, though, don't we?
Yeah. But we knew about that Vandy thing like a week and a half in advance.
Well, that's an SEC team. Of course we did. We didn't know about a D6
but
school.
if it was a publicity stunt, that would have been all over the major news networks.
It is now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be on every college football live show all next week. It's going to be all over it all next week. Mark my word.
But again, We didn't
Yeah.
know about it before. That's why I don't think it
Because
was
we didn't know
supposed-
how to pronounce the fucking school's name.
Okay, you're still making my point. If it had been a planned publicity stunt, like the dragging the girl out there for Vandy to
It's
kick
still
a
planned.
22-yard field goal that
It's
she
still
almost
planned.
missed. Huh?
It's still planned.
She still had to get the sack. Well, hurry. What if she
She
hadn't
had to
gotten
be
it?
on the field. She happened to make a play.
Yeah, but if she hadn't gotten it, if nothing had happened, then we wouldn't have heard about it.
It's still planned. She was on the like. It's just a bad idea.
I agree.
We
It's a bad
shouldn't
idea.
we shouldn't be encouraging this shit because the woman's gonna get fucking hurt real bad one of these days soon, and then it's gonna be like,
And it's probably going to ruin football.
it's gonna hurt it for a week.
Dude,
Let's be real. The shit moves quick, but
if something,
it's unnecessary. It's a publicity stunt, and it just doesn't need to be done. I'm sorry. They're gonna be. I don't have any business being on that fucking field. I'll be folding in half like a fucking lawn chair in the WWF.
it's like the that SNL skit with Adam Driver. You know what I'm talking about?
Matt straight up sucks. Oh, that's the
Who said
Kylo
that?
Ren one.
Yeah. Well, so he's not playing Kylo Ren, but he's playing a announcer at a football game, and they're making fun about how the announcers are always like, "Oh man, that's a terrible. We never need to see that hit again."
Yeah, it was the
And
leg
they
breaking
played
injury.
30 times.
Yeah, let's look at it from
no,
this angle.
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's kind of what it's like.
I see. You're muted, or your mic ain't working. One of the two. Nope. It's not on my end.
I don't hear me either.
Edit mic settings. Say something? Nah, you're fucked. Try to come back in. I'll bring you back in. Exit back out, refresh, and come back in. But yeah,
I mean, we'll end up seeing some like Joe Theismann looking injury, and it'll change football because it'll either be, well, this isn't going anywhere, so we need to change the rules, or it will be, we can't ever do this again, and
Okay.
a bunch of people get angry. Now I hear you.
yeah.
And a bunch
you're
of people
good.
get angry, and then we'll have to change the rules.
Yeah.
Caleb, why did your name change again?
Oh, I did that.
Yeah, he
He likes that one though. Although it's inaccurate, but
yeah, it ain't bad, you know. I like my actual name better, but
oh no, you're muted again. Say something.
Say something. Oh my God!
Oh, no.
Are you? Can you
It's
put your
not
hand up if
working.
you can hear us? Okay.
Oh
Are
my
you?
God.
Did you leave the app or the? Did you leave Safari?
Oh, you're actually muted. Hit the unmute.
There we go.
Okay.
Hey, there we go. Perfect.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
Hey, technical difficulties happens to the best of us.
All right.
Yeah. They makes pills. But what were you gonna say, bud?
Okay. With the with Adam Driver doing the announcer skit. Wasn't that like the last time he was on there?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I don't really watch it. It's just it showed up on my Facebook feed this afternoon, and I was like, that's pretty damn funny.
Okay.
Right.
Because I did watch most of his stuff from that last time he appeared.
Well, I mean, he's one of those guys that it's always going to be funny shit because he's willing to be the one that says the thing that everyone else doesn't want to say.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Damn. I'm gonna tell you right now. Top of my Heisman leaderboard is Michael Penix Jr. at Washington. Dude's already thrown for 1,300 yards,
Gee.
12 touchdowns, 1 interception. He has a 93.4 QBR. Dude's on fucking fire out there.
Can you believe he transferred from Indiana?
Really?
Yeah,
Good for
He
him.
was
from the Hoosiers.
big time recruit for Tennessee with Butch Jones. It's going back to Butch Jones here, and then it fell out. The recruiting fell out, and when our offensive coordinator went to Indiana, Penix signed with him in Indiana, and dude's like 25 years old now. He's kind of like a Stetson Bennett kind of player. He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Huh.
But he's pretty good.
Okay, so here's how he stacks up against Caleb Williams. Caleb only has
What?
878 yards. He also has 12 touchdowns. Excuse me. No interceptions and a 91.9 QBR.
Dude, QBRs are weird.
Yeah, it goes on stats, but
Yeah, it's weird. What's the top, like 136?
yeah, you got me. I have no idea.
Well, yeah, because it's not 100 like you would assume.
Right. But I'm gonna say right now, and I'm gonna throw my hat in that ring. I got Michael Penix Jr. winning the Heisman this year. Although I would love to see Bowers win it, but I don't think we spread the ball to him enough to be able to get the stats to get it. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. So I was
I think
looking at our
he
schedule.
deserves it, but he won't have the numbers to back it.
Yeah, I was looking at our schedule, and if we show up, I think every game is winnable. There's no game on the rest of our schedule that I go, yeah, we're not winning that. And in the past, there's been several games in the past that I've just been like, that we're not winning that.
Well, you make pull up your fucking schedule.
And if he continue, and obviously, the Heisman winner is going to be from a team that has 0, 1, or maybe 2 losses. So we obviously.
Oh, so you're confident against Tennessee next week, huh?
Yeah, and you weren't here for Matt and I discussed that, but
I'm already calling that game. South Carolina's going to crush us on offense.
If Spencer keeps playing like he's playing, dude, I think he gets an invite to New York. I don't necessarily think
he'll definitely win the bye week.
I don't know, man. Sometimes those bye weeks give you trouble.
Hey, they might hurt you. You never know.
But
Florida. Hopefully you don't shit the bed on Florida like you did last year.
I know. But it's at home.
That helps. That swamp voodoo, though, right, Matt?
Yeah. It's some shit stuff.
That's
Let's see what you did there.
Yeah,
luckily, Georgia doesn't have to deal with that, I guess.
Yeah. But dude, I think Spencer Rattler gets an invite to New York. I'm not necessarily saying he's going to win the Heisman, but I do think he gets invited.
All right, let's go around the Heisman candidate. So you say Spencer's going to be in the mix, right?
Yeah, I think Spencer can be a candidate.
Right now, anybody else jump out at you?
And me, come back to me.
Okay. Matt, what do you got?
Well, Washington's quarterback's kind of been my number one. I mean, he was making waves at the Manning passing camp or whatever it was this past spring. Just he's lighting it up like you said already. He's not going to. I don't think he's really going to be stopped unless he just gets hurt. So I think he's probably number one on my list.
What about North Carolina's quarterback?
He would be. I haven't really paid attention to his performance, but I do know Alabama tried to go after him in the offseason to transfer, and he turned him down. He's probably one of the best prototypical, pro style.
What about Bo Nix? Is he in the conversation? Can we believe that? Is Bo Nix in the conversation?
No.
I don't know. He's been in the conversation before.
Well, today looked pretty damn good. To be fair,
this is the thing, though. I'm sitting here looking at the overall quarterback stats.
Jeremy, is your mic working?
Yeah, it should be.
Okay, it is. You're good.
Bo Nix is the 22nd best quarterback on this list. Now that doesn't mean he shouldn't be
pulling up an actual QBR list.
Yeah. Well, no, I pulled it up when you asked about Bo Nix. And so I'm sitting here looking at this. He has completed 76 passes on 98 attempts. That's a 77.6 completion rating. That's not bad. It's pretty good. 893 yards.
It's not terrible.
9.1 on the average. But I don't know if I don't think he's got enough there to beat out any prejudice.
Do you think with the schedule that he has coming up that he can surpass that? That he can get into the conversation?
If you've got Bo Nix at Oregon in the Pac-12, let's say he gets in the top 5 of all the stats. And then you've got Penix, also Pac-12 as well, right? Washington?
Yeah. But say he wins in the shootout against USC and Caleb Williams, and then also wins in a shootout against Penix in Washington. Now what do you say?
So, I'll tell you what's funny. Sitting here looking at this, Penix is the number 1 quarterback. Shiloh Sanders is the number 2 quarterback. Oh, wait, no, that's not Shiloh, is it? That's his brother.
Shador.
Yeah. Shador Sanders is number 2 quarterback. The guy at Hawaii is the number 3. But he should be. Hawaii has played 1 extra game. They played week 0.
Yeah.
Stats are padded at the moment.
Yeah, which is why Vandy also has the number 4 quarterback, because he's played 1 extra game.
Yeah.
But I think it would be difficult for the committee or fans in general to get past their Pac-12 bias.
Yeah.
Because, obviously I'm going to sit here as long as he continues to play like this and say, Spencer Rattler, come on. And,
where is he sitting?
13.
13.
Yep. 77 for 108, 71.3,
Where's
904 yards.
Where's Carson Beck at?
I assume that's Georgia's.
Yeah.
Number 33. 96 or 71 completions for 96 attempts, 74%, 846 yards.
Yeah, not great.
No.
And he looks like a meth head.
But
I have faith in him. But he's not my first choice. So
It's weird
All right,
though to
so
be
let's-
here in
let's-
week
let's
4.
Get back to the overarching question, Jeremy. What's your Heisman frontrunner at the moment that you think can do it, or that at the end of the season you think can do it?
For now, I'll stick with Washington as quarterback, but as we progress a little bit later into the season, it might change.
Who do you think can emerge? Anybody come to mind that that might have a favorable season ahead of them that can jump up?
I'm not sure yet, but I think I'm gonna keep an eye out on Ole Miss quarterback Dart just a little bit.
Oh.
I'm
Well,
not-
you know they have to face Georgia. That could really hurt them.
and that's what I'm saying because I saw the schedule. They're like week 7, week 8.
Yeah, week 9.
Week 9. I think that's going to be like a pretty good game and definitely a challenge for Georgia. But I really want to see.
I don't think so.
I might keep an eye on Dart for that.
So
I think he's looked pretty good before today. Today was not the best look for him.
No.
I don't think so. I think he pushed the ball when they needed to, but I feel like their play calls just weren't adequate for beating Alabama today. Like it was just a lack of effort in the second half. It was gross to watch. And I went on a whole rant. I don't know if you've seen it, Jeremy, but their fucking coach is a joke. And I don't think they're gonna be taken seriously until that coach is gone.
I can understand that. I did watch a good portion of the game from the very beginning and then some parts during the second half. But I can agree with you on that one. But
I mean, when you watch his press conferences and his halftime interviews, and he's all and he's like sleepy, right? He's
yeah.
well, that's who he is.
We need. It's like he's. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the high school burnouts that we went to high school with. That smoked weed because it was cool, and they smoked way too much of it, and they weren't worth a shit. That's what he reminds me of. Because when he does his interviews and shit like that, it's like he's half asleep, and he's just, well, we should have done better, but we didn't, and we thought we had Alabama's number, and I talked a bunch of shit on Twitter, and
Did he really?
it didn't work out. But I have a cute dog that goes out and gets the tea after the kickoffs, and maybe next year we'll get him, but we'll see. Tell me that wasn't good. Yeah.
I gotta go. So I just real quick, one last thought on the Heisman thing. The difficulty with this, I think, is the fact that there's several of these teams that aren't going to be 0 or 1 loss teams, and I just you're not going to have, even if Joe Burrow had not had a 12-0 team, even with those stats, if LSU that year had lost 3 games or 4 games, Joe Burrow would not have won the Heisman Trophy. Wouldn't have happened. And I use Joe Burrow because I think Joe Burrow had one of the greatest single seasons we have ever seen. And I just, especially as a quarterback, he may have had the best passing quarterback season ever. But I think it's hard for. It also apparently seems to be really hard lately for a non-quarterback to win it, especially even though you already have the Maxwell Award.
Right. Right.
But I just think it's going to be hard for, you got 2-3 guys in the Pac-12 that could really be worthy of it. But if they don't win out, if they don't win all their games or we only lose one, Nissan's not going to look at them.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, you're right. Right.
And unless you are Darren McFadden, you're not going to win it as a running back. But last thing before I go, tonight, South Carolina retired the jersey of Alshon Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey gave South Carolina fans some of their best memories as football fans. That catch down the sideline, that one-handed catch down the sideline while pass interference was going on against Alabama will forever play in my mind as one of the greatest plays in South Carolina history. But what my favorite one is, and it's kind of where I got the idea of just tell them to go out there and jump, is in 2011, we were playing Nebraska in the Capital One Bowl. And we weren't playing. It was shit. Like we weren't, I think it was 7-0. But we were on like our third offensive drive. I think it was a fourth down, and it was terrible. And I don't know what Spurrier had been drinking or something, but we're on like 45, and we go for it on fourth down. And Shaw throws this thing up in the air, and Alshon jumps and catches it on like the 3, turns, and just falls forward. It gets us the touchdown. And after that, it was over. They collapsed under what we were going to do. But I just remember watching Alshon as a 15-year-old kid and just being absolutely mesmerized. And it helped that I'm sorry, who's that? Ole Miss? Lane Kiffin is the reason that Alshon Jeffrey played at South Carolina. And it's because he was going to go play for Lane Kiffin at Tennessee. And Lane Kiffin called him up one day and said, "Hey, I know you're from South Carolina, but just so you know, if you end up playing for them, you're going to end your life as a gas station attendant." And he said,
No,
"You know what? Fuck
that
you."
That was Taj Boyd. He told that to. Now, he may have told everybody that.
Yeah, he might have told everyone that.
He definitely told Taj Boyd that.
Yeah, because Alshon Jeffrey's uncle was a gas station attendant, and he told him like, "You're gonna be no better than a gas station attendant." And Alshon said, "Bet, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you," and he did. But yeah, I love it. Dog, y'all are awesome.
Yeah, buddy. Hey, everybody, if you're here and you're watching, check out King's Advisors.
Thanks, man.
We don't have his name down there, but go ahead and check him out. He's got some good shit. If you like Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, that kind of shit, go check him out.
Thanks so much.
All right, buddy. We'll
Peace
see
out,
you, man.
guys.
Thanks for tuning.
See you, Katie.
All right. So let's go ahead and round this out, boys. It's fucking 1:20 in the morning now, but what a good day. Any games that stood out to y'all that we haven't discussed, or points that we have discussed or missed? What do you think?
Well, right now, I just put on the Ohio State and Notre Dame because it's on Peacock replay. So I'm kind of like scamming through that right now.
It's a
that
defensive battle.
Yeah, so I think they only showed like 2 games on Peacock today.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, the Ohio State and Notre Dame is kind of one of the bigger ones I wanted to look at because my grandmother's team is Notre Dame and my father's team is Ohio State.
Right.
And if you didn't know this, if you have seen back in the past, the newspapers did like a football contest and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
and Somerville still do it to this day. And so I have chosen Notre Dame for this game, and I didn't remember what their final score was.
Don't skip to the end. They don't win it, unfortunately, man. But it's a close game, and I don't think. How do you think the rank's gonna jump out? And I'll pull up. Let me pull up the rank right quick, and we'll see. We'll see how we think it's gonna shake out. So let me see here. Damn it. Let's see. How do I pull that up? I just want to pull up the top 10. And let's see if we think it's going to change a whole lot. So let's see here. Sorry. Let's take it a second.
I just now noticed you changed my name.
I did. All right. So let's see here. Did this do what I wanted it to do, which I should have checked before? I'm afraid it did not. I just wanted a list. Bear with me just a second.
That's fine.
All right. All right, there we go. So, do we see any shakeup as of now? So we got Georgia got their win. Of course, this is already reset on to next week. Texas got a win. Michigan, win. So I guess the only loss is Notre Dame. Do we think they drop out of the top 10? What do you think? After losing to number 6 Ohio State, do you think they drop below Oregon? Oregon got their win against Colorado, of course.
As a
I still think Notre Dame's a good team. I don't think they're a bad team at all.
no.
I could see
them going to 11, but what do you think, Matt?
Possibly Alabama and Notre Dame flip-flopping a little bit because Alabama did play a ranked Ole Miss, but on the road. But Notre Dame, I don't know. Notre Dame's probably not going to drop a whole lot because Ohio State's pretty stout, and of course Oregon won easily against a team that's in the media, but they're not ranked. Utah handled business, even though Utah only scored, I think, 14 points today.
Defensively, Utah looked really damn good, though.
And
Really?
LSU struggled with Arkansas, so nobody really can leapfrog Notre Dame. I don't think Notre Dame's going to drop much. I think Oregon and Notre Dame switch places.
Okay, and Alabama go up to 11.
I think Alabama and LSU switch places.
I can see Alabama jumping Utah. Like you said, they weren't crazy, but yeah, I would predict they go up to 11. I think the top 8 don't move. I think the top 8 stay where they are. and below that we're gonna have a lot of shifts. I have no idea. I think Oregon State lost, didn't they?
Yes.
I don't recall, but
I'm not sure.
USC
Wonder
and
if I
Florida
can
State may flip flop, but I don't know.
That's their next game. Yeah, I don't know. All right, we're not going to do this. But, all right, so this has been 11 Deep, the Georgia Dawgcast. I appreciate everybody watching. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Caleb, for coming and watching. Next Saturday, we'll be back at 11:30. We'll see y'all then. Y'all
Have a good one, everyone.
Later. See you.